Do you think the damage is done? Do you think Drake took a hit?
Do I think he took a hit?
Yeah.
Nah.
There's a difference between being a good friend and being delusional. This is delusional because of course Drake took a hit. Of course he did. Now you could probably argue how big of a hit Drake took when he's still the most streamed artist in the world. But to say that Drake before the battle and Drake after the battle, perception-wise, is still the same, you're out of your mind.
Pop Pulse family, welcome back to the channel. How's everybody feeling today? Before we jump in, make sure you like, subscribe, and share, because today, today, we're stepping into one of the most talked about moments in modern hip-hop. 21 Savage finally breaks his silence on the Kendrick Lamar and Drake battle, and what he reveals completely changes how this story looks. Private phone calls, real warnings, loyalty tested, ego challenged. And in true Pop Pulse fashion, we didn't bring you just one opinion, we brought you a perfect blend of reactors stitched together into one powerful documentary-style mashup. Let's get into it. This story doesn't start with the diss record. It starts with a phone call. According to 21 Savage, before the internet exploded, before fans picked sides, before the culture decided a winner, Drake was warned. Not by an outsider, not by an executive, but by someone inside his circle. And that warning? Don't do it.
So the boy 21 Savage, obviously he just dropped a 3-hour interview, obviously to promote his new album that's out now.
21, can you do something for me? Can you do a little interview?
Yes, he finally breaks his silence, I don't know if he's done it before, on the Drake versus Kendrick beef, and he's apparently warned Drake not to do it.
Said, yeah, I backed Drake up like, yo, go in there, yeah, battle him. But now he's saying that he told him to back off. People always speaking on Drake's behalf, man. Just let that man lose, man.
So of course, Like That is the song that jumped off the actual battle to the public. Of course, we know First Person Shooter was a subliminal. It was a microaggression. It was poking the bear, but we didn't fully know the ramifications of that situation. We didn't know if it was really gonna be what it was gonna be. We knew Cole came out pounding his chest and said he felt like Muhammad Ali and all that type of stuff, and threw his name in the pot. And we heard, you know, Drake big as the what, and how he was chasing the Michael Jackson record and all that different type of stuff. But we didn't know if it was gonna be a return fire situation. So Like That comes out and takes the world by storm, takes everybody by surprise, right? Surprise feature, the whole nine.
Yeah, Drake stands coping and crashing out over his recent collaboration with 21 Savage entitled Mystery Coupe. And many of these fans are claiming that it's okay to not be alarmed because this is just a throwaway verse. But is that truly the route that Drake should be taking, given the plethora of other misses he's had over the last year and a half? His verse on this song sounds flat and uninspired, and I know he's matching flows with 21, but you could have did that and executed way better.
He's got a lot to say. He has got a lot to say, and he broke down backstory of Drake and Kendrick Lamar, and he was telling Drake, don't go at Kendrick Lamar, you're number one anyway, and no matter what, bro, you're not gonna win this, because trust me, like when you're at the top, there's always, you're never gonna win it. And obviously Drake has taken, I think it was Universal or one of them, to courts, and obviously he was never gonna win that case, you get me, but he was just kind of showing that, yo, you lot done all this madness for Kendrick Lamar and that track to blow up, you get me, and we see what you was doing, you get me, and we're taking you to court.
This is where things get controversial. 21 Savage argues that Drake had nothing to gain, that even winning the battle wouldn't change anything. But to a lot of people watching, that logic just didn't sit right. Because hip-hop has never been just about numbers, it's about credibility, legacy, and respect. And the reactors weren't afraid to challenge that idea.
So they're talking about the whole beef with Drake and Kendrick, and he says he told Drake not to get into the beef. Let's take a listen.
But I told Drake, he called me one of them days, or I called him. I think this was after the first song, the song with Metro them. And I said, goddamn, you finna go into a battle that you can't win. Like, there's no way you can win.
What you mean?
No matter what, bro, certain situations, even if you win, you still don't win. What he would have got if people would have quote unquote say he won, because I don't really look at like who won or who lost if I'm still being screened the most. Like, so, but people.
We do got to stop right there because he said a couple things there that just don't make sense.
They want to tell the top niggas down.
Yeah, nah, for sure.
So
they come with it.
How can you win a battle when niggas want you to lose it? Even if you win, you lose.
Yeah.
No matter what, even if Kendrick never responded, man. If Drake just dropped songs and goddamn Kendrick never responded or nothing, he still don't win because his position didn't change.
Do you think the damage is done? Do you think like Drake took a hit?
Do I think he took a hit?
Yeah.
Nah.
There's a difference between being a good friend and being delusional. This is delusional because of course Drake took a hit. Of course he did. Now you could probably argue how big of a hit Drake took when he's still the most streamed artist in the world. But to say that Drake before the battle and Drake after the battle, perception-wise, is still the same, you're out of your mind.
He's still the #1 stream this year.
Yeah.
I feel like he took an internet hit.
And I get it. With Drake taking a hit, all of y'all took a hit. You feel what I'm saying? Y'all took a small hit. Just like if either of y'all took a hit, Drake would take a hit. So I get it. Y'all trying to get him back in position without poking the bear. I understand. You feel what I'm saying?
As the reactions roll in, one theme keeps repeating. This wasn't just any battle. Kendrick Lamar isn't just a rapper, he's a cultural force. And once Drake stepped into that arena, the outcome may have already been decided. Not because Drake can't rap, but because Kendrick lives for moments like this. This wasn't about hits.
21 Savage, you cannot save Drake from Kendrick. The boogeyman done boogeymaned already. You cannot save him. You know what I'm saying? It don't matter what you come out with saying. Yeah, I try to save him. I told him don't go in that building. I told him don't mess with the 5-foot Damon. I told him. Speaking of 5 foot, yo, somebody 5'4" is out here dunking, bro. They got somebody out here 5'4" that's dunking. And guess who it put me in the mind frame? I said, damn, he built like Kendrick for real. If y'all didn't see Kendrick Lamar hooping, man.
But we do get some insight on how everything transpired during the beginning times of the battle. One of the specific things that 21 Savage talks about is how Drake felt when he first heard Like That, which is the record that Drake reacted to, which prompted him to respond to Kendrick Lamar in the beginning of this beef. But what confuses me at the same time, 21 Savage claims that he was talking to Drake in the beginning, before Drake decided to say anything, before Drake decided to respond to any record, he was talking to 21 Savage on the side. And it looks like 21 Savage was giving him advice the whole time. Whether that advice was good or not, it looks like Drake decided to do his own thing. He still decided to respond, and we all know how that went. But 21 Savage really does claim that he tried to help Drake in this situation, at least try to give him some advice of some sort to get out of the situation or to avoid the situation altogether.
You the #1 nigga, where does winning put you?
Yeah.
You can't go like number 1.1. So how the fuck could you win?
Yeah, this is just that cultural part where it's like, all right, gang. Winning a battle, and I've said this with the Pusha T thing, that whole like you become like somebody falls from their position is a myth. That doesn't really happen. And the only evidence that people even kind of have to that is Cannabis, and I still think that's an awful argument because I don't think it was LL Cool J that made it where Cannabis wasn't like a thriving artist afterwards. I think Cannabis was just gonna be Cannabis. But yeah, that don't matter because Jay-Z lost to Nas and Ether. What are you talking about? 50 Cent lost to Jadakiss. He's still a bigger artist. We can literally just keep going down the list of people. Like, what do you? No, nigga. And it doesn't mean that You win the battle because you win the battle. The changing of the guard doesn't have to happen because you won a battle. Facts. So for instance, it doesn't even make sense to what you're saying because Drake was always bigger than Meek Mill, but he beat Meek Mill. The consensus that he won. Did the listing change? No. So if he beat Meek Mill and he was bigger than Meek Mill, then why couldn't he do that with Kendrick?
Poppo's family, hold up. This is where the conversation gets messy because 21 is basically saying Drake ain't really take a hit. He's still #1 in streams. But the internet is like, yeah, and? Because perception ain't the same thing as numbers. Numbers can scream winning, while the streets and culture are side-eyeing like, nah, that changed. So this chapter is the battle of two truths, stats versus respect, streams versus credibility, and the reactors go in.
He's still the #1 stream nigga this year.
Yeah.
I feel like he took an internet hit. But then it'd be like, damn, did you take an internet hit? Because streaming, you got to go on the internet to stream.
All right. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I feel like the fact that he said in the near future, Drake and Metro coming back together, it sounds like it's already done. It sounds like it's already been recorded. It might be on this fucking Iceman album for all we know. Because 21 Savage typically ain't the one that's gonna come out and speak on nobody else's situation if he don't really know what it is. We saw clearly he said he don't know how Drake and Kendrick could possibly move forward. He don't know Kendrick, ain't spoke to Kendrick, and probably never will.
21 Savage also reveals that he doesn't believe Drake took a hit. He said he's still the #1 stream this year. I feel like he took an internet hit, but then it'd be like, damn, did you take an internet hit? You gotta go on the internet to stream. 21 Savage also says the internet wants to tear top artists down, citing Lil Baby as an example. The internet just be ready to tear down on my mama. I really feel like the Baby shit, he been dropping hard as a mother. Even if you win, you lose. This 21 Savage.
That stuff that Baby drop is hard to whose standards though? It's hard to whose standards? It's hard to what they been doing? That, like I said, bro, people that they once catered to, they're growing up. And this is what they don't understand. They gonna have to switch the style up.
Nah.
There's a difference between being a good friend and being delusional. This is delusional because of course Drake took a hit. Of course he did. Now you could probably argue how big of a hit Drake took when he's still the most streamed artist in the world. But to say that Drake before the battle and Drake after the battle, perception-wise, is still the same, you're out of your mind.
All right, this part right here, relationship politics. Whew. 21 isn't trying to be the internet warrior. He's moving like a real industry friend. I mess with Drake. I mess with Metro. I tried to connect them. But listen, when he says Drake apologized multiple times and Metro might be open-minded now, that's not just gossip. That's a signal that behind the scenes, people are trying to patch the city back together. And fans, some want that reunion. Others are like, nope, keep it dead.
Right?
I'm just asking, bro. I'm just asking, like, you know how, like,
I fuck with Drake. Me and Drake it's just the relationship keep itself, just like me and Metro.
So did you
I tried to get them together.
What happened?
Long before all this shit happened.
What happened?
You know, some nigga just Metro felt how he felt. Metro felt a certain type of way about something. Drake told me and Metro that he understood where he was wrong and he apologized multiple times. But I feel like Metro just felt how he felt. But I feel like now Metro is kind of more open-minded. I feel like he like, I don't know, I feel like Metro been through a lot. So, you know, like, I feel like sometimes the shit just don't be the right time. But I feel like in the future, the near future, we'll see them work together again.
Now we're in the psychology chapter, because the reactors aren't just saying Drake responded, they're saying why. Pride, ego, rap instincts. 21 basically paints it like this. I told him don't even do all that, but he felt challenged lyrically. And once Drake felt that test, it turned into a fight he couldn't walk away from, even if walking away was the smarter move. This is the moment where you can feel the story flip from music beef to career consequence.
But 21 Savage really does claim that he tried to help Drake in this situation, at least try to give him some advice of some sort to get out of the situation or to avoid the situation altogether.
He was being challenged lyrically, so he wanted to respond. People chose who they...
And that's it right there. Drake was getting challenged lyrically. He felt like he was getting challenged lyrically. And that ended up being Drake's demise. The moment that he thought that he could actually compete with Kendrick Lamar, he failed instantly. And I think 21 Savage knew that. He knew that he wasn't going to win if he went against Kendrick Lamar. The way that he says that Drake was getting challenged lyrically, 21 Savage gives off the impression that he didn't think that it was a good idea to battle back this way.
He called me one of them days, I called him. Like, this was after the first song, the song with Metro now.
Anyway, told that nigga that shit alone. But goddamn, he felt like he was being challenged lyrically, so he wanted to respond. And people chose who they... You know what I told Drake? He called me one of them days, so I called him. I think this was after the first song, the song with Metro now. And I said, goddamn, you finna go into a battle that you can't win. Like, there's no way you can win.
I don't think that I agree with 21. I don't think that Drake could have won that battle with Kendrick Lamar. Obviously, Kendrick Lamar is a different breed. Drake's a different breed. But Drake is crazy. He has been #1 rapper. Like,
this is the part that makes people go, yeah, it was bigger than a diss. Because once a battle record becomes an event, you're not just arguing bars, you're arguing history. The reactors describe Kendrick's year like a domino chain. Record, Grammys, tour, Super Bowl energy. And when that kind of run happens, it's not viral, it's legacy building.
The beauty about Kendrick Lamar is every single time he drops an album, it's an event.
Right.
Like every single time. Like this guy will take 4 or 5 years off and come out with an album, but every single time he drops, it's an event. He's gonna win mad Grammys. He's gonna go on tour, sell out all around the world. The guy was.
But you gotta admit that Not Like Us was a different level.
Of course, it was a different type. Yes, a different type of record.
It was
yes.
a different type of everything.
By the way, but mind you, he wrote it. He wrote it. It came from him. So yeah, it's a different level, but he wrote it, and it was a part of a rap battle.
Any hip hop artist, you get a Not Like Us. Like it's just a different type of... Not Like Us is don't come around too long for any artist.
But I feel like the dots just connected everything for Kendrick that year.
Yeah, the dots connected for that.
Super Bowl.
That's what they do.
Yeah, the Super Bowl, the record,
absolutely,
the Grammy.
Phenomenal
It's
year.
It was everything.
Yeah, one of the greatest years in hip hop history. But
you can't plan that.
But you don't get that kind of year if you already don't have the foundation and career that Kendrick Lamar already had.
You don't get that from just going viral real quick on TikTok. I agree. No. And they did get into, I know we got a rap, but they did get into like the Gunna conversation. They also talked about, if you guys want to take a listen to the interview, and they also talked about Metro and Drake, if there's a chance for them to ever work together again.
21 makes it seem like Drake and Metro are going to work together again. I'm not going into that because that's not what this conversation is about. All right. But he did say, did Drake apologize to Metro? Metro was still kind of like holding it against him, but he said there's a chance that they're going to work together in the near future. Y'all can go check that out though. But I do want to point out something that's really important here. The point of competition is to win. It's to stack up wins, because that adds to your resume, right? When you got a quarterback like Brady, every Super Bowl, that's what puts him at the top as the GOAT, does it not? Because of the Super Bowls. You could be a Dan Marino, and Dan Marino is a great ball player, but he didn't win no Super Bowls.
And this is where it gets ugly online, because now it's not even Drake versus Kendrick, it's Drake fans versus Drake fans. One side is defending everything, the other side is like, nah, we can love him and still admit it was mid. That's the real aftermath, when the audience stops clapping automatically.
Verse on this song sounds flat and uninspired, and I know he's matching flows with 21, but you could have did that and executed way better. I'm not going to be the one to nitpick the production for being simple, since simple isn't necessarily bad, but those bars definitely were very lackluster. Drake sounds soulless compared to records of the past, and honestly, he might have been better served asking ChatGPT to write his Cat in the Hat verse. Mind you, I've liked past Drake records, but there's definitely a reason he hasn't had one of those timestamp records since what, like 2018? But Drake, get back with Quentin Miller. Maybe y'all can collaborate on something and bring that spark back, because this definitely was not it, and I'd love to hear what you guys have to think about this record as well. But a big problem I've been seeing is stans beefing with other Drake fans for them just speaking their mind on their record, something people should have the right to do. Once you put your art out there, whether fair or unfair, you open it up to not only criticism but praise. And it's not like Drake hasn't gotten a lot of praise throughout his career. A lot of this recent stuff just sounds really soulless, honestly. It sounds really plastic. And Drake stands, you can't label shit as gold and expect logical people to just roll with it. Like I said before, you could be a fan of whoever, and I absolutely advocate for that, but you still have to be objective about things.
Hey, Pop Post family. Whew, that was a heavy one. Because this wasn't just who won, it was how a battle changes perception, how friendships move in silence, and how the internet can crown you and cook you in the same breath. If you want part 2 of this mashup with the wildest moments only, no filler, smash like, subscribe, and share this with your people. And drop in the comments, did Drake take a real hit or just an internet hit?